Stop scrolling, I finally figured out how to get rid of pro-life men. I'm 100% convinced that if men had uteruses, the entire pro-life stance would just cease to exist. Because simply put, misogynistic men, because that's what you are if you're a pro-life male, misogynistic men simply do not know what it's like to go through pregnancy. I have a few things that I'm proposing that us pro-choicers do to limit and destroy pro-life men. So any man that comes out as pro-life has to wear a bodysuit for about 8 to 9 months. This really heavy bodysuit that makes it hard for them to walk and hard for them to do basic everyday things. Then we have these inventions called pain holes. Think of them like swear jars, but for stupid pro-life dudes. Women need to keep these jars in their homes, and then whenever a man comes out with a stupid pro-life stance, whenever a man says something against women's bodily autonomy, he has to stick his hand in this jar, and it simulates the pain of what it's like to go through both pregnancy and childbirth. I have one final idea. It's the most tricky, but I also think it's gonna have the biggest impact. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm looking for a historical man to stand that's not like a war criminal.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh my god, great. What did you do? I helped the poor. I campaigned for equal rights. And I thought racism was bad. Oh my god, thank god, okay. How old was your wife when you married her?
My wife?
Yeah. How old was your wife when you married her? How old was she? 16. 16?
And she was my cousin.
Was your cousin?
Nice cock.
What's something really important that you should have been taught in school?
The definition of rape. And if you think we're taught this in American schools, take a look at this video.
Saying that just because a woman says no and because you have sex, those are the two facts. A woman said no and you had sex, then are you a rapist automatically because of that?
Cool. So hopefully you know that the answer to this question is yes, that does qualify you as a rapist. But this guy clearly doesn't know that, and neither do a lot of men. Let's talk about this. This horrifying study found that 31% of college men surveyed said they would coerce a woman into sexual intercourse if there were no consequences. But of those same men, only 13% said that they would rape a woman. It doesn't take a mathematician to realize that those numbers don't add up. This leaves us with 17% of participants who said they would coerce a woman into sex but didn't call that rape in their own head. A lot of men said, yeah, I have used force to obtain intercourse before, but I've never raped someone. So we're left with guys like this, prowling the streets, raping people, completely positive of their own innocence.
I just got tagged in a video because someone wants this guy to respond to me. And I'm like, this guy's either a Republican, he hates feminists, or he's a homophobe, or blah, 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 blah. It is so much worse than I thought. I won't tag the guy, but I will show you his YouTube because I genuinely think he's a neo-Nazi. And if not, he thinks exactly like neo-Nazis. I think this man needs psychological help. I don't say that as a joke. He has a whole video explaining why women aren't real and why we have warped perceptions of reality and why we can't handle anything besides household chores and taking care of babies. We can't even psychologically handle taking care of children, only babies, according to him.
Preserved. They can't be trusted to handle anything of greater responsibility, anything of greater importance than daily household chores and taking care of babies. Not taking care of children, taking care of babies. Because once babies turn into children, that's when the psychological development comes into place, which far exceeds the capabilities that women are able to provide for the child.
And then he spends the whole video talking about random shit like, oh, men are more likely to ask out women. Okay, and what does that prove? Or that women can't connect with God as much as men can. Or that women can't work out because it's psychologically painful for them. Like, with zero facts, zero evidence, zero statistical evidence to back him up, literally just spews a bunch of random bullshit and then was like, okay, women aren't real. I have to go block this guy because I will not have someone who doesn't think I exist psychologically debate me or respond to me. If you don't think I can handle more than household chores, shut the fuck up. And I don't want literal neo-Nazis on my page. Or just like I am floored by this. It is so scary how many people were like, base, this is so facts. Facts that women don't exist? What the fuck? Are you okay? Someone get this man's parents How old is this kid? I hope he's young. Because if that's an adult, I am terrified. Seek help.
I can't stand it when female characters give long speeches about how they're so strong and powerful just because they're women. Well, I agree with you. You what? Yeah, because while I agree with what's said in most girl boss speeches, they're only self-serving to the people who already believe what's being said, and they just come across as preachy to the people who don't. If you actually want to change the general public's perspective on strong female characters, just show them being badass instead of having them sit in a circle telling each other how badass they are. It's been done before with movies like Alien and Kill Bill. They're strong and complex female characters that never have to explain to anyone that they're badass because they just are badass. Well, I agree with you as well. We both agree on something. Well, what do we do now? Well, you're the know-it-all. Apparently not.
Are you ready for it? Here goes. In a patriarchy, women have two roles that are accepted within society, which is male society because it is a patriarchy. Women can be caretakers or women can be sex objects. When a man has a daughter for the very first time, he goes through a sort of existential crisis where he learns for the first time that women can be people outside of these designated roles of caretaker or sex object, because an infant little girl obviously can't be either. You know, he has to be the one to take care of her because he's her father, and she's a baby. She's not a sex object because we don't like children like that. That's bad, okay? So then the little girl grows up, she hits puberty, she starts developing sex characteristics. He watches her become a sex object for other men, and he loses interest in her. She's no longer a person to him anymore.
I'm anti-feminism. Ah, okay. Didn't see you sit down. Why is that? I want to shave my armpits. Okay, that's a personal preference. I shave my armpits too. What else? I would never get an abortion. Okay, also a personal preference. Your body, your choice. What else? I don't want to work in a male-dominated field like STEM. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Also a personal preference. You have every right to do that. Stay-at-home parents are great. And I don't hate men. I mean, I have a boyfriend of almost 4 years and family members that are men that I love, so same. Then what are you even fighting for? Oh, okay, well, feminism fights for a lot of things, but in these situations specifically, feminism wants everyone to be able to decide what to do with their own lives and bodies, regardless of gender, and it wants to dismantle the patriarchy, which negatively affects everyone. While those are your personal preferences, many women don't want to shave, want or need an abortion, want to work in male-dominated fields, etc. So we fight for that choice. You're a man-hater and you want to be a man. Oh no!
Alabama tried to outlaw abortion recently. I don't care what side of the debate you're on. I think we can all agree what we don't need is more f***ing Alabamans, right? Right? Yeah, they're like, a fetus is a person. Ooh, well, Alabama, your definition of person has been wrong before. What I don't like is how religious Alabama is about it. They're always like, well, what if Mary aborted Jesus? You know, like, what if Mary had aborted baby Jesus? I'm like, based on everything I know about Jesus, he'd survive. Right? Just Christmas and Easter would be the same holiday. You know? Think Planned Parenthood can accomplish what every Roman couldn't? Doubtful.
Unpopular opinion. Stop telling women on the internet how beautiful they are and go say it to your wife.
Hey babe, just want to let you know that women on the internet are beautiful.